Welcome back to another Witcher character lore video. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a shorter one, not by my choice, just as there's not that much information on this character, but today's video is going to be on Leo Bonhart. So a lot of you will probably have heard his name, not just from the Witcher games, or if you've read the books you'll definitely have heard of his name, but you may have even just heard his name from my videos, as I've talked about him here and there, just throughout my Witcher Schools videos especially, as he has a lot of association with some of the members, in some way. You'll probably have also heard of him from just in Gwen and name drops in the games. So today's video is going to cover his full history, his profession, and his fate. So a quick spoiler warning for those of you who haven't read the books yet, or plan to read the books, as this is going to cover major events involving him within the books, and also a little bits of things from the games possibly. Leo Bonhart, professional bounty hunter and a famed Witcher killer. He's one of the main antagonists in the Witcher books, and described as being both very tall and very thin, with a pair of two expressionless green eyes, a ghoulish grin, and a large grey moustache, so his hair is grey. So Leo's story begins as a soldier who, after retiring from that way of life, became a bounty hunter. Bonhart is said to be a Witcher killer, as stated by Jean-Pierre in The Witcher 1. And also you'll know if you've read the books that he actually possesses 3 Witcher medallions, a Griffin medallion, a Cat medallion, and a Wolf medallion, which in the books are the only current Witcher schools, so he's slain a Witcher from every Witcher school, at least in the books. And the reason we know that he actually got the medallions of Witchers he slew and he didn't just collect them is because he says he did. And a lot of people don't dare question it because they know how good he is with the sword. I mean, he basically almost has the skill to be able to kill somebody like, I don't know, let's say Eskel. I mean, you all know how powerful Witchers are. Imagine how good he is, and he's a human without mutations. So Bonhart's story in the books begins with him being hired by Stefan Skellen, and this is to kill Ciri. He was actually also hired by Baron Cassadai, which I hope I'm saying correctly, to capture her alive. So there's one contract to kill her, one to capture her alive. So his first encounter with Ciri in the books is... there's no other way to really say it than horrific, and I will explain this now. So you see, in the books, Ciri had actually fallen in with a group known as the Rats, and the Rats stole from the rich and gave to the poor. So whilst in this group, Ciri had developed a relationship with one of its members, and this was a girl known as Mistle, or Mistle, I'm not sure. So you may recognise her name, as you see in The Witcher 3 after Ciri's in Skellige and she's in that kind of bathhouse area, she shows a tattoo and says, well, I got that from someone that I loved once, and that's actually a tattoo she got with her and for her, to show her love. So Ciri decides to leave this group, and after spending one last night with Mistle, she leaves. But after she left, she shortly heard of Leo Bonhart's plan to kill all of the rats, so she returned to them. This time, she found all of them dead, except for Mistle, who was being held by Leo Bonhart. He then beheaded her in front of Ciri, and you can imagine that must have affected Ciri quite badly. And he also shows you his character as being a deranged psychopath. So after he cut off Mistle's head in front of her, he captured her and took her as his slave. And this actually means that he went against the contract givers and decided that he wanted her as his personal slave. So Bonhart actually kept Ciri imprisoned for a while, drugging her with fist tech and beating her mercilessly. Eventually, seeing that she had quite good combat skills, he decided to put her to good use. So he bought her the sword, which, as we know, became the sword Zirel, then forced her to kill at his cousin's arena. His cousin was known as Huvenagkel, which I hope I'm saying correctly yet again. So eventually Ciri actually escapes from Bonhart's clutches, and this is with the help of somebody known as Niratinkeka, and this happened while she was at the village of the Unicorn, and the reason that Bonhart was at the village of the Unicorn is he was there to attend a meeting with 2 other, I suppose you could call them hunters, known as Skellen and Rience. I'll get into those 2 obviously in later videos, as they're quite important characters throughout the books, especially Rience. So Bonhart kills Niratinkeka, while Skellen wounds Ciri, but Ciri did still manage to escape on her horse. So after that event, he actually gets ordered by Vilgefortz to hunt her down. So he leaves with Skellen and Rience, but Ciri still manages to escape to Tor Zirel, which is known as the Tower of the Swallow. Eventually, Bonhart's story ends, and this is at the events of Striga Castle. So when after killing Cahir, he was put to death by the sword of Ciri. And that's the end of Leo Bonhart. That's his full story from the books. Obviously I've skipped little bits here and there as they're not massively important, and if you want to see his full story then you should probably read the books, but this covers the basics of who he is. You can imagine him kind of like the Witcher's version of Ramsay Snow. A little bit deranged, a little bit horrible, and just pure evil. It's actually quite funny because a little fact about him is that he detests worms and manure, which is kind of funny considering that he's fine with beheading nice people in front of their loved ones. So that's all there is for today's video. I'm sorry it's been a bit of a short one. I started this video and I didn't realise quite how short it was going to be, but there's very little information on this character. For example, we don't know where he came from, we don't know how he became who he is. It's all just kind of this happened, this happened, this happened type thing. But I hope this video has been enjoyable enough for those of you who knew literally nothing about him. If you're new and this is the first video you're seeing on my channel, be sure to subscribe, as it's always awesome if we get new Witcher fans on here. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like, as it does actually help me out, and it's so cool if you guys to take the time to do that. Also, be sure to comment down below what you thought of the video and if you have any suggestions for videos or anything else. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon pledges. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for donating. I'm not kidding, guys. You guys are honestly amazing, and you all deserve the rank of Grandmaster you have. Thank you so much for helping me make these videos better and just giving me way more inspiration than I already have to make these videos. So thank you so much for making that commitment to me. Anyway, I'll see everybody later. Have an awesome week, guys. Be sure to follow my Twitter, my Twitch, and if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to watch my Witcher 1 playthrough, as if you watch that, and then when you watch my Witcher 2 playthrough and 3 playthrough when they all come out, it'll be like we've been on a journey together. So anyway, I'll see you all later. Have an awesome week, guys.